This is Life with Shauna and Nay here, back with another video. Like, comment, subscribe, more videos on the way on period. This video is about teen kicked out of house. Let's watch the video.
I got kicked out by my parents on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to tell you the story of what happened, why I'm not upset about it. In 10 minutes, I'm going to make everything in this video from my point of view, because, you know, obviously my parents probably have a different point of view than the point of view that I have. The tiniest bit of backstory: my dad abused me and my siblings mentally, physically, and verbally all throughout my childhood. I'm so traumatized by stuff that happened. Even if it wasn't that bad to other people, I don't really have any memories until the age of 8 or 9. Like, my earliest memories are when I was like in 3rd grade, and a couple memories from first grade. None of this is to diminish their character, so I won't be saying anybody's name or anything like that. Auntie, I know you watched some of my videos, so if you're watching this and you listen to it all the way through, I'm really sorry that you had to find out that this is what we have endured throughout our childhood. You're free to call and ask me any questions. Let's get started, shall we? And a lot of people may be wondering why I'm making this video. I feel like I have been through so much, and I'm not even 20 years old yet. I have 30 more days of being a teenager. I feel like I could write a documentary of all the things that I have been through. So I just need to get it out, you know? So for Thanksgiving break, you have to pay if you want to stay in your dorm. So I did have to go home. I put home in quotation marks because living there has never really felt like a home to me. It's just a place where I ended up residing. So for Thanksgiving break, my Nana, which is my godmom, she picked me up, and she was supposed to be going out of town for Thanksgiving, like that whole entire week from Monday, and she wasn't coming back until Friday. But I didn't want to be at home for a whole entire week. So I was like, my siblings, because I'm the older sister, my siblings didn't get out of school until the day before Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just go home the day before Thanksgiving because I didn't want to be at home by myself. And my mom don't work on Monday, so I didn't want to be at home with just her on Monday. So I was just like, okay, I'd rather just stay at my Nana's house. So on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, my uncle, my Nana's son, took me to my parents' house, and yeah. When I got in there, my mom was like, finally, what, you didn't want to come over here or something? And the answer to that question was yes, I didn't want to come over there. If it was up to me, I would have it really was up to me, but I be people pleasing, and I didn't want to make my mama upset or have her asking me questions as to why I wasn't staying at the house. Like, I don't feel like explaining myself and hurting people's feelings. So I just was going to endure staying there for the days until I needed to go back to school. But when she asked me that, I was like, no, that's not the reason, even though, in fact, it was the reason. So then she had to work on Thanksgiving because she worked at a hospital. So we had to prep things because we wanted to have dinner at the house. So I helped her cut the sweet potatoes. She was making the dressing, and she made the greens. And the plan was I was just going to call her and see what time I was supposed to put the dressing in the oven. She also had made this cake, and I had stayed up until almost 2 a.m. because the cake, we needed it to cool down before we could put the icing on it. She had work in the morning, so she asked me could I stay up to ice the cake or whatever, and I was like, yeah. So I stayed up, I iced the cake or whatever, I washed the dishes, and even after I had went back upstairs, she was like, can you send a picture? I went back downstairs, took a picture and everything, and I had no problem with it. I was 100% okay with it. So since I didn't go to sleep until almost 2 a.m., I was in the bed until I slept in a little bit. My granny had ended up calling me at like 10 a.m. while I was still asleep. I saw it and I put the phone back down, because it was so random. Like, I was going to see her later on that day, and she never calls me, so I didn't know what that was about. But later on, she told me she was calling me so I could see my uncle. And I just felt like that. I don't know if I really trust that was true or not, because whenever she go visit my uncle, she never calls me. So I don't know what made her decide to do it that day, or so she claims. I'm not gonna lie. To this day, I don't believe her. So then I ended up getting up. I got dressed or whatever, and I put the dressing in the oven. So later on, it's Thanksgiving now. It's the evening of Thanksgiving. My mama is off of work. Everything is still cool and dandy. I'm making the gravy. My sister is washing the dishes. My mom is making the macaroni, and then my granny, who is my dad's mom, is on the island cutting the green peppers for the lamb chops. So I think I was the one who initiated the thought of cream of wheat. I really don't remember how that came to be. But I just remember I brought up cream of wheat, I believe. And then my sister ended up telling this story of cream of wheat that was in regards to my dad. And when it comes to my dad, my mom defends him to the ends of the earth. It don't matter. It's all, your daddy didn't do this or he didn't blah 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 blah. Like, it's no point in trying to get her to see your point of view, because when it comes to him, she not hearing none of that. So whenever I say something about him, even though he's my father, she always be going to bat for him, and I'll be like, and the point don't be for me to win. It just, I'll be wanting her to hear my point of view, and she don't be listening to that. So I had to learn a long time ago, when it comes to that, shut up. Don't go back and forth with her. But my younger siblings, I feel like they fail to realize that sometimes. So my sister, who was washing the dishes, and she said that story, my mom was like, no, I'm sure he didn't mean it like that. He was do-do-do-do. And then she said something else, and then my mom was like, no, do-do-do-do. And I'm already noticing. I'm like, okay, mama is gonna keep going. Like, if Camille say something else, mama gonna say something else. And then here go my granny to my son. Yeah, I don't feel like y'all dad would. Girl, why are you commenting? So now I just feel like it's 2 against 1. So I just literally turned around to my sister and I looked at her like, basically telling her to be quiet and cut it out. She looked at me and she understood what I meant, so she stopped talking. She kept washing the dishes. I turned my head back around. I kept making the gravy. And from my peripheral vision, I saw that my mom had looked at me, but I left it alone. So then I was texting this group chat that me, my brother, and my sister have, and I was telling them, when it comes to mama, and when she discussing daddy, like, don't go back and forth with her, because you're not going to win. She just going to keep going. Like, just zip it. And when it comes to daddy, just don't argue with him at all, because you're never going to win. I was like, just laugh or something. If you want to do something, just laugh to piss him off. But in reality, you shouldn't laugh. You shouldn't. But sometimes you have to, because the stuff that he be saying, he just feel like he be the smartest person in the world. And I just be like, no. So anyway, my brother had ended up asking me, like, why did I say that? And I was like, well, because what happened with my sister. And he was like, well, what happened? And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell you in a minute. So I finished making the gravy. Okay, now we all done cooking. I don't know where my mama had went. I think she went to the bathroom. My granny sitting on the couch now, and my sister done making washing the dishes. So I take the 2 of them upstairs, not to talk stuff about my mom, but to tell my brother what happened, and literally to advise them. When it comes to them, do not argue. Do not argue with them. You're not going to win. Like, if you go back and forth, they going to keep going back and forth. And even if you don't go back and forth, they going to keep saying their stuff, but just let them talk. It's going to be over soon enough. Like, this is how I survived. Let them say their stuff. Whenever they done, just walk away and don't think about it no more. And my brother, he was like, I just feel like this house be against me sometimes. And me and my sister was like, we don't feel like the house is against you. They just be on your head because you don't have a job. I feel like things would be better if you got a job. And he was like, yeah, things was better when I had a job and do. So next thing you know, he pointed at the door and my mama was right there. I'm not upset or nothing because I didn't say anything wrong, I don't feel. She was like, what y'all up here saying and do. And I was like, oh, I was just telling them, like, when it come to you and daddy, don't argue with y'all, just let it be. She was just like, no, that's not all you said. I heard you say da la 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 la. And I was like, oh yeah. And we all re-explained everything that we meant by what we said. She just kept staring at me like she felt like I was lying. And I was like, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, I just gave you clarification about what happened and you still upset. I wanted to make one video. I might have to make like a small part 2. But then I was just like, well, you always tell me when me and you be speaking one-on-one that I need to advise them. And now that I'm doing that, you have a problem with it. She was like, no, Maury, because... And I was like, okay, Mama, you're right. You got it. Because I don't like tension and stuff like that. And I sadly am going to have to make a part 2.
She's your older sister. She was just looking out for her siblings, and that's all that is. And sometimes parents find the reason to be like all in the business when it has nothing to do with it all. I know this video should have been called Toxic Family Members, but you know how that goes. But I'm going to do part 2 next, so hold on. If you want me to do part 2, just comment below. This is Life with Sean Renee, and I'm out. Bye!